Episode 13. We're back. My name's Kanyon Cooksley, alongside my co-host Caleb Galloway of the One Trick Ponies podcast. I guess let's start it out, Caleb, by just talking what's in the future for specifically this podcast. We tried out the every other week for that 1 week where we took a break and wanted to enjoy our summer. I thought that personally worked well for us, so we did it again, and it worked even better. So after a discussion between with you behind scenes, we were like, hey, let's just focus on growing through our social media channels instead of and compared to just pumping out podcasts every week. Because there are some times where we don't use all the clips that we want to use just because, we only post, if we did every week, we'd only be posting 3-4 clips a week. There are some times where we have 5, 6, even 7. So moving forward for the time being until we, potentially grow to a certain point and we think that, we can move back to a podcast every week, we're just going to stick with every other.
Yeah, I think it's the right move, the right call. I want to maximize the amount of clips per podcast and make sure that we're getting all the best content that we can for you guys out. I think that we've had a couple really good hits recently. We always have some comedic sides to our podcast that I think most people should get to see. It's not just a typical sports podcast. So with getting more clips out, it's 2 weeks span with the clips, you really can see, you get bite-sized versions of the podcast. So I think it's the way to go.
We've seen it significant growth between TikTok and our Instagram, where it just made sense. This last week, we had a pretty good number, a clip that had a lot of views, a lot of interaction. On TikTok, it was our lottery grades.
Yeah.
That went over really well. There's a lot of good debates. And, we just thought if we can kind of put that similar stuff out like that, then let's do that and let's make the most of every episode. So quality is over quantity.
Yeah, with me, I don't care as much about the views per clip. I like seeing all the interaction. The more clips I can get out, or we can, graphics we can make to get that interaction, that's what's fulfilling to me. The numbers don't care. I like seeing the community interaction the most.
I like what I like in my job is within social media right now. I like seeing the interaction because the interaction leads to more numbers, and the more numbers means the more interaction. So
Yeah,
as we saw that last that lottery grades post started out with some interaction, then the views started getting boosted, and then more interaction happened, and then that's where we could chime in with debates. We had people against us, people for us. So, and then even outside of that, we've been starting to get a little bit more interaction with comments and followers and whatnot. So, and I always take the thing with me is if you say something on social media, this is probably what you should not do. But when you say something on social media, I 100% believe it. So if somebody says the best podcast on TikTok, they're probably joking. But I take it full on, and I'm just like, thank you for the support. We love you so much. Make sure to drop us a follow. We appreciate you. So
yeah, Kanyon's comments / replies to the TikToks they're funny in itself, because if somebody goes to troll us, Kanyon is right there with the clap back. It's always good.
And yeah, if you can dish it, you better be able to take it.
That's true. That's the motto.
Yep. So that's the plan moving forward. There's a lot more change coming outside of the podcast in our personal lives. I'm going to hint on that, and we're going to talk about that a little later in the podcast. But today's episode, I know we probably missed some other news regarding other sports, but basketball is the one that me and Caleb decided this is the draft just happened. Coaching hires, free agent signings,
trades, tons of stuff is
trades. there's so much going on. So right now we wanted to focus episode 13 solely on the NBA. We kind of been dishing some hate towards it throughout the playoffs. Right now is the time that me and Caleb love. We love all of
I
the
love the off season
deals.
of any sport more times than not than the regular season of the sport.
I just
Football's
love to
probably
see.
the only exception. Football's probably the only exception. I actually like the regular season more than the off season.
I love the outrageous money that gets thrown around.
It's so dumb. So there was
So,
a signing today that was just, I think we'll get to it, but
oh
ridiculous.
yeah. I got a list of everything. So, um, let's start out before the draft. Before the draft, a big coaching hire, JJ Redick, former sharpshooter in the NBA, a long time career in the NBA. He just got hired as the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers needed a new captain to lead the ship, and they thought that, hey, a younger coach and guy like JJ Redick could help turn the organization around. Personally, I like it. JJ Redick has a lot of basketball knowledge that he can bring, but again, he's with a team like the Los Angeles Lakers. There's so many eyes on the Lakers. You're never going to be, unless you're Phil Jackson, man, it's hard to be loved by all Laker fans. And I don't even think Phil Jackson was probably loved by all Laker fans.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough road for him.
If it's not, Laker fans seek instant gratitude. They want gratification instantly. And if you don't provide that, they hate you. Now, I will say the past 5 or 6 coaches the Lakers have had have been bad. They've not fit. It's tough to coach LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting a young guy, I feel like this is more of a hire where this is somebody that can coincide with LeBron versus try to be their coach. This is somebody that can be friends with LeBron and AD. Like, hey, man, it's more relatable, understanding what's going on, which may help the team or it may hurt the team. I really do not know yet on this hire. Like, I want to like it because I think it's going to be good in the long run, but it all depends on the respect category of like where LeBron is gonna, I don't know how to put this, but like, is LeBron gonna respect JJ's authority?
It's always been whenever a coach comes in coaching LeBron, they're really not the coach. Would you agree with that?
Exactly.
LeBron controls everything, whether you love it or you hate it. He has a say in everything. I specifically remember the year he left Miami. He told Miami that he wanted Shabazz Napier. They drafted Shabazz Napier, and he still left. Like, he just controls every aspect, whether it's for the good or for the bad. And sometimes teams they try too hard to get LeBron to like the staff and the organization, so they just do outrageous deals. They spend atrocious amounts of money because they think this will satisfy LeBron. And lately, that just hasn't worked. What the Lakers are doing right now with AD, AD's a great player. He has great nights, but the guy can't stay healthy. Now you look at a guy like D'Angelo Russell, who just opted into his to his contract with the Lakers. He has hurt the Lakers more than helped them.
Yeah. It feels like teams always want to get LeBron, who LeBron views as like a leader or LeBron's friends, or in this case, LeBron's son.
Yep.
So like, oh, we'll hire JJ Redick. It's LeBron's friend. He'll be our coach. Well, we're drafted. It's not the Los Angeles LeBrons. It's the Lakers. You've got to view it past LeBron. And I don't think that's what's going on right now.
Every year when it hits free agency for whatever team LeBron's on, I always see guys like Chris Paul when they were in the league, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh. Like, those were just the guys that Kevin Love, right?
Yeah.
Or just any former. So like Kyrie, he's always been linked to LeBron.
For some reason, I'm seeing a ton of Klay Thompson this past offseason. It's just like any guy that was good when LeBron, like 20, he wants the 2015 All-Star team. Like that's what I've always said. Like he wants every player that was on the 2015 All-Star team to be on his team, and it's 2024. So 90% of those guys are either washed or out the league.
It's just not realistic.
Yeah. It's
And when teams like try to take those steps, it just gets clogged up and it never works. And the depth's never good. So one or two injuries, and the Lakers are starting Ryan Kelly and Jose Calderon.
well, who was it a couple Matt Ryan was getting significant playing time not long ago. I mean, guys like that, like Juan Toscado Anderson was getting playing time. Guys like that, like Toscado Anderson was an okay depth player for the Warriors a couple years ago. By no means should he be getting over 20 minutes a game.
I agree.
It's just ridiculous.
So what JJ Redick needs to do is create his own path, do things his way. I don't know if he has the guts and the confidence to do that.
I don't know how ballsy JJ Redick is yet. And that's what I'm kind of excited to watch. Like, is he gonna be the coach to actually be like, hey, look, we're on the same playing field, LeBron. You're my player, I'm the coach. Or is he just gonna give in to LeBron because it's LeBron James?
When you are coaching a team with LeBron, you have to have big kahunas. You have to have big balls. You have to be able to tell LeBron, like, stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. I know you're one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, but I have been hired to coach not just you. I've been hired to coach the entire Los Angeles Lakers, the entire Cleveland Cavaliers, the entire Miami Heat. Like, it's not just you. So let me do my job and trust in me. And look at Eric Spoelstra. I think Spoelstra was probably the only one that had big kahunas.
Yeah. I mean, Spoelstra's probably one of the most underrated coaches in the league by far. I mean, what he's done every year the Heat are contenders. Regardless it's a good team or bad team, they're a contender in the East.
Yeah, whether they're first seed or the eighth seed, ninth, whatever it is, they find a way.
Yeah.
They're always competing. So that was the big news. Well, then that kind of transitioned us right away into the NBA draft. We released our lottery grades. We, again, had a lot of traction, a lot of good feedback. We've talked about this before. This draft did not have a lot of A-plus prospects, not a lot of game changers, not a lot of big core pieces that are going to be franchise players years to come. This draft did not have that. They had some stars, potential stars, but it just did not have that name value. How do you think this draft went?
I really hate dogging on rookies, especially ones that have never touched the court. It's unfair. It's an unfair shake. But with that being said, there's no name power in this draft. Like last year, you had Victor. Victor, you knew who he was months before the draft. The media coverage was all over him. People were finding out who the number one pick was on draft night. Nobody, like Alex Sarr, that's been basically was like, the projected number one pick for months. Nobody really knew much about him other than he was tall. He was French. I don't know how many people knew that he played in Australia last year. How many people knew he would play in the OTE? He ended up going number 2. He wasn't even the number one pick. I don't want to say there's no star players, there's no game changers, but there's definitely a lack of star names or mainstream names in this draft. It's a problem when your most televised and most media coverage comes from a second round pick.
I was about to say that. It's a problem when the biggest name was selected 55th overall.
Yeah. It's you needed to market these guys better. And the NBA and ESPN, they all failed them on that.
And I think like this is a lesson that needs to be learned by media outlets. The international market and pipeline to the NBA is not going to stop. So you need to figure out how to market these guys like Rishayer, like Alex Sarr, like Saloon, like Buzelis, like you need Topic. You need to be able to find a way to market these guys because the international scene's only going to get bigger. This draft was filled with international guys. You have to find a way to market them.
My theory, how hard is it for the NBA's YouTube channel to air these guys' games? Just
Do
live stream these
something.
games. Like, no
Correct.
way there's no combative where we can't get these EuroLeague, U16, U18 games on American television or American live stream. I shouldn't have to go out of my way to watch the projected number 1 pick in the next year's draft. The only time I remember seeing Wemby play before, obviously we knew his name because of the marketability and how generational he was when he played against the G League Ignite.
Mm-hmm.
The Metropolitans played against the G League Unite. And everybody got to see Wemby versus Scoot. And that's how you marketed that game. That got so many headlines for, number 3 pick and number 1 pick. There was nothing for that this year. It would have been so easy for as much media attention as this WNBA draft got, which I love. We've talked about it before. We're big fans of the WNBA, big fans of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. But that marketing could have been used for the NBA as well. It's the first year it's ever been like this. I can ever remember. The WNBA draft had more star power than the NBA draft.
Just me thinking about last year to this year, like the Thompson twins, they had, and I know, they were G League, right?
Yeah. Or OTE.
OT, yeah. I was blanking. Is OT, yeah. They were in the OTE, so that's a little different than being international. But they had more coverage, each of those Thompson twins, than Alex Sarr and Reshire. Like I knew who the Thompson twins were. I knew more about them, and they had promo packages put together on these guys. They had so much for these guys when it came to around that draft season, compared to when you're looking at Reshire and Sarr. Like Reshire, after he got picked, he doesn't speak very good English, and ESPN was trying to talk to him, and you just couldn't understand anything he was saying. There was no interpreter helping him out. Like he was saying the very basic stuff. I'm happy to be here, and he can hardly speak English. So that just looks bad when you're trying to market this guy as the number 1 pick overall, and he can hardly speak, the language of the country and where he's going to be living.
Yeah, see, the language thing doesn't bother me much to be the face of a team and not speak the language. I don't care too much about that because, in my eyes, it's what you do on the court. But you also have to have marketability, appearance-wise. I think appearance and play matter more than language. Does that make sense?
So okay, this is my perspective on it, and I'm going to compare UFC because the UFC has a lot of international guys. When you go when you're watching a press conference or after a fight, they're on the mic. There's a different feel from when a guy like Volkanovski, Adesanya, Sean O'Malley are on the mic compared to a Figueiredo, Diego Lopez, Alex Pereira, because they have to talk, and then a translator has to translate it for them, and the message just doesn't come off as necessarily maybe the way that they were hoping it came off, so it kind of loses that value, and so then they have to amplify their performance even more, so it makes up for that lost time and lost space, and when it comes to speaking, that's where it comes from me.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that they could have done more for this draft. I think we're both in agreement for that. That they got dealt a bad hand this year. And next year you have Cooper Flag. That'll be
Ace Bailey, Harper.
Ace Bailey,
Harper, Ace Bailey.
Yeah, there's a lot of homegrown talent next year. So I'm sure, and it'll be a real test to see how the NBA treats these homegrown guys versus the European, the non-traditional route guys. I don't want to say that the NBA favors the college kids, but It's starting to look that way. The NBA media, not the teams. The NBA media definitely favors the college kids over the European / the G League OTE guys.
We'll look at the next two picks after. So Rishair went to the Hawks, first overall. Star went second overall to the Wizards. But look at the next two picks: Reed Shepherd and Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle won multiple national championships. Reed Shepherd plays for one of the best college organizations when it comes to men's basketball. They just had so much to talk about with those guys. And then you get to. I'm just going to kind of run down. It went to Ron Holland, the Pistons. Even Ron Holland, a guy that me and you both like, it didn't even seem like he got the praise because he is super athletic. He might not be a great shooter, but that dude is an athletic freak, and he played for the G League Ignite, so a team that's associated with the NBA. And he didn't even get much. Like, it just felt like something was off when it came to each one of these prospects. Like Zach Edey was a top guy that got praised out of the entire draft. And then again, the 55th overall pick, Bronny James, who averaged 6 points a game in his first year at USC, should not be getting more talk and conversation. I get the name value, but to the first overall pick, the second overall pick, any lottery picks, I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So to quickly kind of run through things, just some things to highlight. Donovan Clingan, he fell to the Portland Trailblazers, a guy that Caleb. Sorry, don't know where that came out of. Caleb wanted for the Charlotte Hornets. Instead, the Hornets got. We gotta practice this name, buddy. Tejan Saloon.
Saloon. I think it's Saloon. I think. Tejan Saloon. Well,
out of France, he averaged like 9 points. Clingan was right there. Caleb was disappointed. I thought they were going to go Clingan. There's a lot of other individuals they could have gone, but this Saloon guy, and apparently, well, they must see a lot in this small forward from France. So he went to the Hornets. Clingan went to the Trailblazers. A pick and a trade that we both liked. Rob Dillingham was selected by the Spurs. He then got traded to Minnesota. Can we praise Minnesota for how far they made it into the playoffs, but then they bounce back in the draft and they get guys like Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon, two legit scorers that are just going to help amplify that offense.
The depth
Edwards.
that they got is remarkable. I think that's probably my favorite pick of the draft. Pick up
Dilly to Minnesota.
They needed a scoring guard off the bench. He's, in my opinion, already in the running for Sixth Man of the Year.
I could see him. Yeah, I could see him being a guy like for multiple years. I mean, hopefully he develops a starting role, but if he doesn't, that sixth man off the bench is a very key part of any team in the NBA. And if Dillingham progresses, he could be a Lou Will type guy, a guy that repeats Sixth Man of the Year multiple times because that dude can light it up and he's super athletic. So yeah, we both really like that pick. The 9th overall pick was the worst pick of the night. Caleb, let me go on my tangent here. Zach Edey, he was selected to the Memphis Grizzlies. It was an F pick. If I could, if there was a grade lower than the F, I would give it to him. Grade Z, whatever it may be. It was a dog crap pick. Memphis needed a big man. I understand. But Zach Edey clogs the paint. He will literally hold back John Morant in that offense. Zach Edey doesn't know how to run the pick and roll. He doesn't have a left hand. Stretch big men are going to absolutely expose him when it comes to the defensive side of things for Edey. His footwork is terrible. His conditioning's rough. All he goes to is that right block and looks for that right hook and right layup. That will easily be stopped. I can't wait for the first game that Edey has to go up against Jokic or a guy like Joel Embiid or Bam Adebayo or somebody that's more athletic, can match his physical traits. You can't match the height, but the physicality of the game. Edey will get embarrassed, exposed, and hopefully sent down to the G League and stay there for the rest of his career.
Jesus.
So, Zach Edey, thank you for getting out of college basketball. Now I hope you stay in the G League where I never have to see you again. Um, can't even do that with a straight face. I'm trying to be like so serious, but bottom line, I just hate Zachy. That dude's a total trash can. So, Jalen Williams, his brother Cody Williams, was selected by the Jazz. Booz Ellis went to the Bulls. Nicole Topic went to the Thunder. A guy that me and Caleb are now fans of, Bub Carrington.
Carlton Carrington.
Carlton Carrington goes by Bub. Played at Pittsburgh. He's now playing for the Washington Wizards. I can't wait for that deadly duo of Bub and Alex Sarr.
He just looked like the most enjoyable guy to be around. I don't know. Just something about him, man. He looked cool. He just
He
looked
looks like a guy where he can just like go get like
go get a good burger
chicken.
with. Yeah,
Yeah, like a burger or chicken spot. You just put your feet up and watch sports with him.
Yeah, dude. He seems like one of those college buddies. Like you get dormed up with him, and you're like, damn, I don't know this dude. And like by the first week, you're playing COD lobbies with him, and he's just like, man, damn, I'm hungry. Let's go to Cookout, man. Let's just go get food. He just looked like a cool, like one of the funniest, most chill people.
I know usually podcasts have like business sponsoring them. Can we just have this podcast sponsored by Bub Carrington? Can he be a one-trick pony with us?
I hope he's more than a one-trick pony. I might get a Bub Carrington jersey. I might.
Hey, it's either that or Saloon.
I'd rather have a Bub Carrington jersey. I need to get a Brandon Miller jersey first, though. That needs to happen first.
Saloon or Edie?
Angel Reese.
Oh, God. That would be worse. Khalil Ware went to the Heat. Jared McCain went to the 76ers. Arguably the steal of the night, Dalton Connect. He fell to the Los Angeles Lakers. That just fits perfectly with JJ Redick. After that, I kind of lost a lot of interest. My Magic got a good 3-and-D type of guy, Tristan Da Silva from Colorado. And then it just kind of fell off a lot. Terrence Shannon, Isaiah Collier went to the Utah Jazz, a guy that he has had lottery grades to top 3 grades to now he got drafted 29th overall. Sharpshooter Baylor Shireman went to the Boston Celtics. Now, Caleb, quickly, let's just kind of talk about this briefly. You can break it down. The whole Kyle Flipowski drama. He got drafted 32nd overall to the Utah Jazz. Now, remember the Utah Jazz because that's very ironic after Caleb says this little drama that went down on draft day.
So, yeah, people are wondering why Filipowski just kind of fell in the draft. It was weird. Like, projected first-round pick, pretty, late teens, early 20s, going to get drafted first round. Well, ends up going in the second. Well, then it gets broke on Twitter. Kyle's girlfriend is 10 years older than him and basically captured him into the Mormon lifestyle. I don't know, like, he's abandoned his family. His brother and his mother are on Twitter, like, you're not going to believe this, but I'm his brother. He doesn't connect with us anymore. His girlfriend was his babysitter, and now she's basically groomed him. He went to prom with her, and it's like just the most awkward looking prom photo I've ever seen. Clearly an adult going with an 18-year-old. I guess 18 is an adult technically, but I mean, this is a 28-year-old lady going to prom with this kid, and just, it's gross. And now he goes to Utah, the home of the Mormons. The situation is weird. It's apparently what affected his draft stock. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it's an odd situation for sure. I couldn't be happier it happened to a Duke guy. That's hilarious to me. Fuck Duke. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all angry there, but
fuck Duke. There, I helped you.
Thanks. But yeah, no, it's a weird one. I want more development out of this story before I just say it's like all 100% truth. It could just be a bunch of Twitter trolls. We don't know. But it's getting spread around enough where I think there's more truth to it than it being a rumor.
these are one of those stories, or this is one of those stories where you hope it either comes out right when it happens or it never comes out at all. Because when it comes out, because when draft day comes, people dig and they find things that you tweeted when you were a 12-year-old kid, and they will use that against you and your value when it comes to the draft. And when they can get into your personal life and they see who you're connected with and they put pieces together, there are literal online detectives out there that will literally break down somebody's entire life and put all the pieces together and create a story, whether it's true or false, but they will run with it. And Kyle Fikowski was a victim.
Yeah,
And now
it's
it's just
more
very
ways than
ironic.
one.
He's
More ways than one
yeah.
was he a victim.
Yes. So hopefully everything's okay with that situation. But like
He
you said,
seems
he's a
happy
Duke guy, so
there.
and he likes the Cougars, I guess. All right. Well, so then outside of that, I'm just gonna skip over a bunch of these. There's just a lot of international guys, a lot of 4-year college guys that went. But the one that stole day two was 55th overall to the Los Angeles Lakers. Bronny James was selected to play with his father. First time that this will ever be done in NBA history. Pretty just cool story. Pretty cool thing to see just for the history of the sport. Do I
Yeah,
think he'll ever play? I mean, I don't know. He wasn't good in college.
he'll get minutes. There's no way they're not going to have him on the court at least once with his dad.
One thing I will say that I've heard, his work ethic is off the charts.
I've also heard his defense was NBA level.
Correct. So if he can create some sort of offense, but there are guys that have made a living just being a defensive
Pat
dude.
Bev.
I'm not
Pat Bev
comparing
was
him.
a good scorer, but like in his late career, he's known as that mentor, like defense guy. Get in your head. If Bronny can become that, I mean, there's at least a 5-year career for you in there somewhere.
And I don't want to compare him to guys like Lou Dort because I think they're above his skill level. But like Lou Dort is known for just his defense. Lou Dort is also built like a NFL linebacker, but
New York can also shoot the
they're
three.
yeah, I know, but they're still so like Bronny's so young. There's still time. Um, it would be cool if it panned out.
I don't think he'll ever become an all-star, even a key player. I think he may be a rotational bench guy, but
Yeah,
I mean, like I can see him averaging like 6, 7 points, and kind of just being like a vet minimum, bounce around. Because like once LeBron's out the league, I think Bronny's pretty much out the league too. Like they'll keep him on the
yeah,
roster as long as LeBron's there. My next question
yep.
for you is: how long does Bronny and Braun play long enough for Bryce? Do you think they'll make it that long?
I heard like there was an interview there where Bryce got asked that, and Bryce was like, "Hell no, my dad will be like 50 or something."
Well, because what
Which I
is
don't think
Bryce
is true. I think he'll be like 40.
a sophomore or freshman in high school?
He's either a freshman or sophomore. I know that.
So at least 4 more years.
That's cutting it. LeBron's taking a lot of time off. Like he doesn't play the kind of minutes and stuff. He's still a game changer, but I don't know if he'll do that.
See, I don't know. Bronny's in the league for 4 more years.
Yeah, that's also another thing. That'd be so cool if you get all three of them together, though.
I would love it. Something tells me LeBron's not going to want to play when he's washed, like completely. But I don't know if LeBron will ever be washed.
Yeah, he takes care of his body way too well.
What if LeBron's just the coach of Bryce?
I can't
Because he
see LeBron
definitely
as a coach.
doesn't need the money, but I could see him being the coach.
I can't see LeBron as a coach. That would be heartbreaking. But it could be. He loves the game. He's proven that day in day out. So
he's either going to do that, or he's going to be either an ownership or he's going to be a coach.
yeah, I agree. So yeah, that was kind of the main pick of day two. I didn't really pay attention. I know Caleb didn't really pay attention. Well, but the good thing with the NBA though is it just perfectly lines up, right? the draft happens, right when the draft happens, then just the chaos of trades and free agency and contract extensions and contract, you cutting guys, you're waiving guys, you're trading guys, you're signing guys. It's just madness. So the news doesn't stop. And I want to say, ever since the NBA draft ended, me and Caleb have sent posts back and forth to each other of a deal of some sort within the NBA. The first one I want to talk about, Josh Giddey straight up to the Bulls for Alex Caruso. Caruso going to the Thunder, obviously. Caleb, this is an unusual trade when it comes to the NBA because there's always, it seems like, picks that are attached in trades. This is one of the first trades that I've seen in a long time where it's a player for a player.
Yeah, there's not a lot of one for ones in the NBA. But like really breaking it down, the Thunder just wanted to get rid of Giddey. They wanted their name attached from him. Caruso's just one of those guys, like, he's an above average depth player. He's going to be veteran stuff, which is what that team needs. That team needs solid vets. Not going to break the bank with them. Great gritty defense. That's a good swap. Giddey gets a restart in Chicago or a team where he's going to have minutes. Who knows what they're going to do with Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Lonzo. Nobody knows what's going to happen with those. So there's potential for him to be a starter on that team. It's a good swap. Caruso didn't need to be traded, but it's something that OKC needed, and it's a good refresh for Giddey.
I agree. So, yeah, that was the first trade. I would say the next big one, there was a lot of other like minor trades that kind of went on throughout the days and weeks leading up to the draft and then after the draft. Another big one, though, the Villanova Knicks. They just acquired Mikal Bridges, a guy that has been thrown around a lot in recent seasons of being traded, but just the value that the Nets had on him kind of rubbed teams the wrong way. Well, he was sent to the Knicks, and unlike the Giddey and Caruso trade, this one had plenty of picks. So the Knicks sent the Nets an unprotected first in 2025, 2027, 2029, and 2031, along with a protected 2025 first-round pick from the Bucks, an unprotected 2028 first-round swap, and a 2025 second-round pick. Bojan Bogdanovic was also added into that deal to help balance out salaries.
Insane value for Mikal Bridges. He hasn't missed a game in his career, which is, Thibodeau's going to love that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's an insane haul for a guy that most people, he's not a household name, but I think he can develop into one in New York. I'm very excited to see how this team plays. The chemistry should be unmatched. It's going to be
insane. Bridges could be like the missing piece because the Knicks were close, man. They were really close, and there were times of the Knicks looking like the best team in all the NBA. But now pairing up Mikal Bridges with college teammates of Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart, like you said, that chemistry, build around that. I heard that the Knicks want to keep Randall, despite what fans sometimes think. Like, this could be a real legit team, and Mikal Bridges, he can shoot, he can play defense, he's tough.
He's a hell of a player. There's no question in that. I did see that, one of the signings we'll get to eventually by Isaiah Hartenstein. He's kind of a good rotational. They did lose him. Robinson gets hurt quite a bit. So they're going to need to address the center position this offseason for that team to be a real big contender, in my opinion. But I love this Bridges move.
Yep. And then the last one that I would say out of all the trades, DeJounte Murray got sent to the Pelicans for Larry Nance, EJ Liddell, Dyson Daniels, and some picks.
2 firsts, I believe.
2 firsts, yes. I kind of thought it was going to happen. DeJounte Murray just didn't fit with the Hawks. He just He looked out of place there, and it just didn't work with Trae Young. So him, Ingram, and Zion. I mean, that could be a sneaky in a very competitive Western Conference. That could be something that could help them compete. Maybe for a bottom spot to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I like this. There are some rumors of Brandon Ingram being dealt. I don't think that's the smartest thing. I think if you're going to trade anybody on this team, it needs to be CJ McCollum.
Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot CJ McCollum. Yeah.
I don't know how much value is left in him, but I think that's the piece you need to go and get rid of and get you some depth that way. I don't think unless Brandon Ingram just wants out. That's the only way I could see like you wanting to move off of Brandon Ingram. But I love this pickup of Murray for them. You get you a star guard. It didn't work out in Atlanta. Him and Trae Young played too similarly. I think this is a good restart for DeJounte Murray's career, and I think it's a great pickup for the Pelicans.
I agree. So now, what we're currently in the middle of, there's probably going to be some that we're going to miss. But shout out to this individual on Instagram who kind of broke down a bunch of signings and extensions. Caleb, I'll kind of just read some notable ones. Let's pick I'm going to read them all, and then some that might not be included into this graphic. I'm just going to say them, and then we'll kind of give one that, hey, we like the most. Out of all these signings, we have to pick one. I know there's a lot, but let's pick one that you really like. So gotcha. KPJ, he's back in the league. He signed a 2-year deal with the Clippers. KCP, big deal. 3 years, $66 million with the Magic. Orlando Magic. They got a guy that I love. It is my favorite signing so far, but it is one that I am in favor of. He deserves that kind of money because of the presence he brings to a young team like that. Valanciunas went to the Wizards on a 3-year, $30 million. Chris Paul signed with the Spurs, 1 year, $11 million. Pascal Siakam got an extension, 4-year, $189.5 million with the Pacers. OG Anunoby, 5 years. What's up?
Another name we forgot to mention with the Knicks. They got OG.
I know. For a while now. 5 years, $212 million. He came back to the Knicks. We got Malik Monk. He was a big name that thought he was going to get dealt around. Instead, he stayed with the Kings. 4 years, $77 million. Obi Toppin stayed with the Pacers. Patrick Williams stayed with the Bulls on a big deal, 5-year, $90 million. Bull signed with the Suns still. I don't know why I read that one. James Harden stayed with he stayed. James Harden signed with the Clippers?
He was with the
Clippers. Was he with the Clippers? Yeah, okay, he was with the Clippers. Right? I think he was with the 76ers, but I remember he got 76ers and the Clippers. The 76ers and the Clippers just trade people. Because that gets to the next signing, Paul George. Paul George went to the
76ers.
The 76ers. The 76ers were very active. They extended Tyrese Maxey, and now they bring in Paul George. So Paul George signed a 4-year, $212 million max contract with the 76ers. And then Tyrese Halliburton agreed to a 5-year, $205 million max contract.
Let's try Tyrese Maxey.
What'd I say?
Halliburton.
Oh, shit. Different players there. Tyrese Maxey. That's what I meant. Sorry. And I'm looking right at him. He doesn't look like Tyrese Halliburton. But yeah, so roughly $420 million locked up into those guys throughout their entire contracts.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I'm saying Klay Thompson.
Yes, so yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Okay,
Klay Thompson.
I thought you were wrapping that conversation up.
No, he signed. What was his details? 3 years, because I read that he had multiple 4-year deals but he didn't want to do. He stuck with a 3-year because of the taxes in Texas, and whatnot. And he just liked the details better. What were the details? 3-year what?
50.
50 mil to the Mavericks. I really like that.
Breaking news. Breaking news. We have the newest, highest paid player in NBA history.
Stop. Does he deserve it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm staring at it. I was literally staring at it, and I just looked over it.
I'll let you break it.
5 years, 315 million super max extension with the Boston Celtics. No, it's not the Finals MVP in Jaylen Brown. It is the guy that, for some reason, Celtics fans hate, Jayson Tatum.
That is a lot of fucking money. That is so much money.
$315 million.
Holy hell.
His kid Deuce better be pulling up to preschool in a goddamn Lamborghini.
Bro, that is so much money. That completely just threw me off, but I had to get that out there before I could do anything else. That is insane.
That's an insane. Oof.
They also
Yeesh.
spent an insane amount of money on another free agent that I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, get to that atrocious signing.
So I get that he's a key player, but Derek White, 4 years, $126 million for Derek White. No way. That is a Timothy Mozgov type signing, in my opinion. I hate that deal.
Hey man, you just won the finals. Keep the guys that you had.
I like Derek White. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's worth $126 million though. And I may sound like
Celtics,
a super casual. I may sound like a super casual from saying this. I just, oh my god, it's ridiculous.
Can we also talk about the Celtics though? Earlier today, what was the news that also broke out? Not with contract signings. You broke it to me, and I'm going to let you break it on the podcast. What were the Celtics trying to
sell? Like that? Why are they?
Repeat that.
They're available for sale. The Boston Celtics are available to purchase. That is an insane thing to think about. It's like the Buss family putting the Lakers up for sale. One of the most historic franchises in sports history. Like, why would you not keep that? I don't understand. I mean, I guess it's maybe an all-time high value-wise right now. But I don't know, man. That's crazy to think about to me.
You want to go in on it?
I know some people.
I know some people. Are you thinking of what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking of the one-trick pony Celtics. The Boston one-trick ponies.
Hey, man, with all the sponsorship money we're going to get from Bub Carrington.
Well, that's the first move I'm making. I'm trading Tatum for Bub Carrington.
Get me, Bub.
I need him. Player/coach.
That's a wild.
An eventful day and a half or so for the Celtics.
Yes. The last one I wanted to touch on was the Isaiah Hartenstein. You mentioned him earlier. He signed with the Thunder. The Thunder needed another big man to help Chet, a physical big man. They got one with Isaiah Hartenstein coming from the Knicks over to the Thunder, 3-year, $87 million. I want to break this deal down, though, because I saw somebody tweet something that it just blew my mind. And I love this signing for the Thunder, but now looking at the money.
I think I saw what you're about to mention, and I saw the counter to this. I'm going to bring it up when you say it.
Okay, so he said, dude who has averaged 18 minutes, dude meaning Isaiah Hartenstein, dude who has averaged 18 minutes, 6 points, and 5 rebounds per game for his career and is about to play for his 6th team in 7 years is set to make $4 million more per season than one of the greatest defenders in all of NFL right now, Myles Garrett. What's your argument?
So I saw, did you send that to me on Twitter by chance?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So what I saw was obviously the roster difference. An NFL roster versus an NBA roster.
Yeah. They also obviously play more games in the NBA. Yeah, I know.
Like, it sounds crazy, but like there's so much more money in basketball than there's in the NFL. So like they have all this cap space, but there's only 12 guys instead of what is it? It's not 52, is it? How many players are on an NFL roster? I'm blanking right now.
50. Yeah, it's like 55 or 52.
So that cap space divided by 55, let's say, or NBA cap space divided by 12. It's just gonna
I
happen.
get it.
It sounds insane to think about, but
yeah,
it's
I get it.
logistically, that's just how it happens.
But I always like those tweets. I always like those tweets breaking down financial things because I remember when the Red Sox got David Price, and it was like he's making some million or thousands per second with the Red Sox. And I just love seeing those breakdowns.
Yeah, I love the per second, like $108.12 per second.
Always a great humbling moment.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I make that in like 2 days.
I will never see $1 million in my career unless I keep working hard and million. Like you can say, all right, Kanyon, have your hopes up. Go on, like $1 million though, Caleb. $1 million, like there are so many people in this world who never see $1 million.
Hopefully, we're not one of them.
And the fact that Jayson Tatum's getting 315 of those millions, he's getting 315 millions.
He can give so many people millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Deuce better be.
He probably can give like 400 people $1 million.
Please, Jayson Tatum. Everything I've done for you.
We did say fuck Duke earlier. Should we take that back?
Fuck Duke.
Fuck Duke.
I don't know what's with the accent, but yeah, fuck Duke. All right.
Yeah, that's not what. Okay.
So there's going to be a lot more that breaks down and comes out throughout the couple of days. It's a fun time to be. Yeah, it's been a fun free agency so far. So hopefully it keeps it up.
I want to add one last thing. Part of the Klay Thompson deal, the Hornets actually did something good.
Oh yes, you can.
It was a sign and trade, and somehow the Hornets got involved in 2 second-round picks for Josh Green. I'll take that.
Saloon and Green. The future.
Brendan Miller and Josh Green.
The future. No, yeah, that was. I thought that was a pretty underrated.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid up and coming wing guy. I mean, what we needed. So 2 second-round picks for that. I'll take that all day.
If you have 2 legs and can score the basketball, the Hornets are looking. The Hornets are takers.
That's why I've been practicing so much, man. I might be able to make the G League team at least at this point.
You and LiAngelo, if he's still there.
Not still there.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the basketball talk. That was fun. Like I said, there's going to be probably more and more as we continue to move on. But now let's kind of get to the point of where I teased earlier. So there's change not only with the podcast, but with my personal life. I and my fiance, she just accepted a job. I will be moving to North Carolina. Not just North Carolina, but I will be moving about 10 minutes from Caleb. No, I didn't move just to see Caleb. I get enough in plenty. But unfortunately, where he lives, it's in the middle of everything of where I will be and where Danica will be. It just worked out. So pretty excited. We leave we had on our whiteboard, it's erased, I think
2 weeks.
18. Yeah, a couple of weeks. So very, very exciting. Not looking forward to the 18-hour drive, but nonetheless, it's going to be very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. And actually that leads us into our draft and game for the day. Me and Caleb are kind of talking, what should be the draft for today? We said, hey, Kanyon, you're going to be taking an 18-hour drive. Let's do a draft of your top 5 artists / bands that you're going to have on the aux with your cross-country trip. So, Caleb, I went first last week. You get the honors. Who are you taking with your first overall pick?
With my first pick of the draft, I'm going with K. Dot. Give me Kendrick. It's got so much in his discography. It's banger after banger. His new stuff, his old stuff. It's so good. Just to prove a point, I opened my Spotify because I was gonna kind of go through my playlist, and on my Spotify is Kendrick pulled up. So, proves how much proves how much I listen to him. I love Kendrick. He's by far my favorite artist. Gotta be number one pick for me.
Recency bias, probably, but Not Like Us is one of my top songs right now. No, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at you right now.
Okay, I was about to say, man, damn, I just put up damn. It was on my phone.
Not Like Us is a banger, so that's a good. I will accept that pick, but I'm going to counter that pick, and I'm going to go with another rapper, Lil Baby. I will take Lil Baby over Kendrick Lamar any day. I don't know if I'm in the minority or the favorite there, but Lil Baby,
yeah,
there's just so many bangers. Baby, one of them. Fuck You Mean. Oh, that's Gunner. Never mind. That's Gunner. Never mind. I was about to say Fuck You Mean. I don't even know my artists here.
Come on.
But I have a full playlist of just Lil Baby, and then I actually have a playlist with another artist I'll get to later, but it's called, here's a hint, Lil Baby Wave. That's the name of the playlist.
I wonder who that's going to be.
So I'll get to that artist. Hopefully, if you don't take him, I don't think you will. But
I'm torn between two here. I think I'm going to go with the local biased. I'm going to go J. Cole.
Ooh.
He's got a lot of variety. You know, he's got the For Your Eyes Only type music, and then he's got, Middle Child. He's got a lot of good songs. Kind of make the mood different, and he's also local, North Carolina guy. Gotta support those.
I always tell my buddy's a big J. Cole fan. I always say J. Cole's one of the worst lyricists ever. And he gets obviously he's known as one of the greatest.
I was about to say, holy shit.
And I come at him and he always takes it so serious, but I'm just totally grinding his gears on purpose. So I like the two rap choices. I know you listen to very exotic music sometimes, so I'm surprised that you're going with what's actually known and not some random.
Oh, they're coming. Just wait.
Okay. So my second pick, if you know me, you know my love for her. Tate McRae. And whatever happens, yes, I'm engaged. Yes, I'm going to have a wife. But, if you ever want to be besties, Tate, we can be besties. Because I love your music. I love you. That came out wrong. But keep making bangers. And you are always on my playlist, whether it's across country, to different countries, or just to my house. You are always on my playlist.
All right. Well, my next pick, it's the guy on my wall. I gotta go Uzi. Just get you hype.
Uzi's a banger.
He's got so many bangers. I mean, it's all, and his recent stuff I don't love as much, but 2016 Uzi's unmatched. Eternal Take, that's high school nostalgia for me. 2020, just so many bangers on that album too. You gotta listen to Uzi.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna go back to the rap category, rap genre. Definitely not a lot of people's favorites, but he is arguably my favorite rapper. YNW Melly. Yes, I know he's in prison. Yes, I know he admitted to a murder. I still think he's innocent. Just the music he can drop, and if he was out of prison, the potential that he has, bro. Na 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 Boo Boo, Freddy Krueger, Butter Pecan, obviously Murder on My Mind. There's just so many bangers that he has, and he can slow it down, speed it up. He does kind of mumble sometimes, but that's what I love about it. He is just an insane person. If you ever seen a picture, he looks like a damn alien. He just looks like if you wanted to like picture what does YNW Melly look like after listening to his music, he looks exactly how you think because his music's very awkward and weird, and he's also very awkward and weird. And now he's currently behind bars. So, sending thoughts and prayers to you, YNW. Hey, I rapped or rapped or
Rhymed?
rhymed. Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, my next pick in this draft, Childish Gambino. I love Childish Gambino. There's so many. He hasn't made a lot of new music, but God, he's got so many good songs. It's his discography again, like Bonfire. It's one of the insane song. There's so many double entendres, triple entendres in that song that just like give you the stank face. Oh my god! Like there's one I'm making the beat and then murdering it like Casey Anthony. That is absurd. Do you know who Casey Anthony is?
No.
She murdered her own child. It's an insane line, but like it flows perfectly. And you're just like, oh my god. But then there's the new stuff, like This Is America. Do you remember This Is America?
This is America.
Yep, you remember it. That's a banger. Childish Gambino, you can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, you're sticking with a lot of rap. Are you gonna like change it up here or what?
I don't listen to much stuff out
You
there.
can't go across the country and just listen to rap.
Like let me go through my playlist. I'll try to find somebody that's not rap.
So I went with Baby. I went with Tate McRae, my baby, and I went with YNW Melly. With my 4th overall pick, I'm going with Zach Bryan.
Who is that?
Bring your eyes up right now.
Okay.
You cannot say that with a straight face.
I swear to God, I don't know who that is.
Zach Bryan.
I don't know who that is. I don't even know what genre that is. Like Tate McRae, I only know because of you and that one song on TikTok. But that guy, I don't know who that is.
That guy. No way you're saying that guy to Zach Bryan. I'm not even a big country guy.
Is it a TikTok guy?
Country. He's dating a TikToker.
Who's he dating?
Brianna Chicken Fry.
Oh, she works at Barstool. I know her.
Yeah. Zach Bryan is her boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He literally writes a song about the South. Heading south.
No, I don't know who that is.
Do they not listen to country in the South?
Not the part of the South I live in.
I'm literally not a country fan, but I know who Zach Bryan is. Do you know who Morgan Wallen is?
I know him. He made a song with Lil Durk.
Oh my. Holy hell.
That's how I know him.
You need help.
Leave those Broadway girls alone. That's him.
What am I getting myself into? Why am I moving to the South?
Broadway girls. Broadway girls.
Stop. You're ruining the song for me. Get to your next pick. Get to your final pick. You don't know Zach.
You know, I don't know Zach Brown or Brian or whoever it is. I do like
Zach Brown.
I like Luke Combs. That's gonna be my next pick, actually. I like Luke Combs. He went to App State. My dad went to App State. All my buddies from high school went to App State. So I listen. There's that one song about a refrigerator door or something like that.
This is how I know you're not for real with that pick, because you just said there's a song about a refrigerator door and you don't even know what the song is. I'm not going to say I know what the song is because I don't listen to.
I got one number away in my
Combs. Oh my God, Caleb! I feel like you just made that pick because you
I felt pressured for that pick. I can't lie.
What would you actually do?
Probably like, I don't know, Metallica or something, or Mexican OT.
Hard rap. Metallica.
Metallica's good. What do you mean?
Sing me a Metallica song.
Master of Puppets and I love that song. I love Master of Puppets. That's such a banger.
What'd you just do with your hands?
Yeah.
Your hair went all
For
crazy.
whom the bell tolls. That's a banger.
You're listening to that on the
Sandman.
cross. You're listening to that on a cross country trip.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure.
I use it straight face. All right, with my last pick, I hinted at it. Rod Wave. I can probably say I'm the only solo white man that's ever been to a Rod Wave concert. You know, but it was a banger. I loved the Rod Wave concert. Just I did not fit with that environment.
Yeah.
It was very so between intermittent. So Tusi, you know who Tusi is?
Yeah.
I'm on the stage right now.
I'm
Sing
saying my favorite
favorite
song.
song. Yeah, so he performed, and then he went off, and in like intermission, they played "Sexy Red" and like "Ski Yee,"
Get
and
sexy. Get
yeah,
sexy. How's the rest of it go?
I don't know, but I was just standing there with my hands crossed, like uncomfortable, and I just look around, and there's so many people just twerking and like grinding and like dancing, and people are half naked, and
Where's
it
my
was
invite?
just it was so uncomfortable. Caleb, you don't know who Zach Bryan is. I can never take you to him.
Yeah, I don't know who Zach Browner is, but I know who Sexy Red is. I'd be like, ah.
Oh God, I would go back to being solo and move away from you. If I see you go, then I'm out. But
Nah.
Rod Wave, he's a lyrical genius. I love him. He's a guy that can get you going, a guy that can calm you down, a guy that can relax you, a guy that you can just put on and drive to. So Rod Wave's my pick, and that's gonna wrap up the draft.
Good pick.
Let us know who you thought won. I would like to say I'm currently undefeated with these drafts. I don't think I've ever lost, but you guys, the factors in this, you guys decide. Let us know. We'll be dropping on TikTok and Instagram, the One Trick Ponies. Let us know who won.
So that's the Zach guy. I'm thinking about it.
Brian. Mm-hmm.
Is he the chicken fried guy?
No way you're serious.
I know that guy. I remember that. And I was
That
thinking.
is the Zach Brown band.
So not the. Is it Zach
No.
Bryan?
Something in the Orange, Revival, Pink
No,
Skies.
I just know. Little bit chicken fried. Go
Nope,
be
he
like
definitely.
night.
Nope.
Some. And that'd be all right. A little bit.
Toes in the water, ass in
Ass
the
in the sand. I know that
not a
song.
worry in the
Is that the same song?
world. Cold beer in my hand. Life is
Life is
good today.
good today. Is that chicken
Life
fried?
is good today. Yeah. Wait, no. That's adios amor. I don't know I don't know the
All right,
words.
this podcast is out of control.
You're right. Well, so we got a lot of good news, a lot of exciting things, in-person podcasts potentially, a lot of content potentially with me and Caleb. Um, we don't know the time frame for this next episode, episode 14. We're obviously going to release episode 13, but 14 could be a whirlwind because it kind of falls in that place of moving. So I might have stuff put away. I might have stuff, not at my
Yeah, it'll be
not accessible. So
yeah.
um, we'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, we'll have one while I'm driving. Hey,
Nope.
Caleb.
Nope. We don't need to do that. No endangerment. I will say follow us on our social medias. I think there's gonna be a lot of content coming out with this move. Obviously, a lot of in-person content, a lot of stuff you're not regularly gonna see on the podcast. More content driven versus podcast driven. Still gonna do the bi-weekly podcast, but
Food reviews.
it's gonna be sick. We're gonna post some crazy stuff, and I think it's gonna be big. So make sure you're following us on our Instagram, our TikTok, our Spotify, our YouTube, all that stuff. It's the One Trick Ponies, and Kanyon hit it.
Boom.
Ooh.